Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Cranks. I'm Larry, and today I'm reviewing for you The Vast of Night. But before I begin this review, always remember, this is the mere opinion of one man, and within this review you may find some spoilers and details you may not wish to know.
What's going on? There's something in the sky.
The Vast of Night, an Amazon original written by James Montague and Craig W. Sanger, directed by Andrew Patterson, known for directing, well, absolutely nothing, which is pretty impressive with the outcome of this film, which we're going to get into here in a minute. But the movie also stars Sarah McCormick and Jake Horowitz, a film that uses 1950s nostalgia, adding a unique sci-fi twist that attempts to recapture the heart of an old Alfred Hitchcock Twilight Zone episode. It even incorporates a narrator at the beginning who does his very best to channel his own inner Rod Serling.
All taking place on a stage forged from mystery and found only in a frequency caught between logic and myth.
The ice cream man is going down the street. Stand by.
You didn't say please.
The Vast of Night is the story of Faye, a telephone switchboard operator in Everett, a late-night DJ who happened upon a strange and mysterious frequency one night and decided to investigate its unknown origins. Within just minutes, after the old TV screen opening zooming into the high school basketball game, we meet Everett and Faye as they leave this game and begin to walk down a dark, dark street. And I picked up on this really quickly. Both Everett and Faye talked annoyingly fast.
Play trombone.
Everett, can I bring you my tape recorder so you can show me how it works?
I don't know what you just said, Phil. You sound like a mouse being eaten by a possum.
I did feel like this could also have been a good opening to a horror movie. Because actually at one point I turned to Mike and I said, you know what? I hope this is a horror movie because there's two characters here right now that I just really need to die. But then something happened. Something happened on that fateful road. I started to actually like these two characters and their chemistry, the things they talked about, future science.
In the future, every baby will be assigned a telephone number at birth and it'll be his for life. And we'll all have palm-sized dials and a clamshell with no receiver.
When Faye finally does make her way to the switchboard too and receives that signal for the very first time, she's switching connections, having conversations, getting eerie messages, investigating what she had heard, and I loved her curious mind, her determination to get to the bottom of this mystery, and all that came across in just one long shot. I just realized right there when I was watching it, this is a very talented actress. Sarah McCormick is extremely good in this movie. When she sends the signal over to Everett and he plays it on air, I started to see his character in a brand new light. When they receive a spooky anonymous call, the dialogue, mostly from an anonymous caller, telling a rich story about his past and where he had come into contact with this very same signal and what happened to him, the way at times the screen would just go black.
When we landed, they loaded us up into a bus, but this one had all of the windows painted black, so there was no telling where we were going. Then when we arrived, it was still desert, scrubs, and flatlands, but there were tents and tunnels and underground labs or test bunkers or something.
You yourself were not watching a movie anymore, but instead hearing this on the radio for the very first time yourself, putting you actually inside this movie. And I have to admit it, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm a huge fan of stories like this and what could be out there. Aliens, unknown signals, possible secret codes, mysteries, and whatnot. And I've seen stories like this told before on YouTube. True stories about people calling into radio stations, switchboard operators, unexplained mysteries. Like I said, all this stuff intrigues me. It's just really, like I said, one of my guilty pleasures. And these moments captured that same feeling within me and set the tone for the rest of this film. So without a doubt, I need right now to mention Bruce Davis. He's only known as the voice. He may not appear in this movie, he may not be on screen, But his tiny little role has a large impact on the outcome of this movie. The mystery investigation, the Nancy Drew, the collecting of clues, putting two and two together, that is the tone for the rest of this film. If I had to dive deep into this and just pull out negatives, like I said earlier, I didn't really care for Everett's character at first, though he does begin to wear on me throughout the film, and I do start to see him in a different light as the movie progressed. It was a pretty rough start, and he never really took hold of me and his character to the point where I began to really love him. And there are times, too, where they are talking to an old lady in a dark room, and it's another one of those really long takes. And she's telling her experience with this mysterious frequency. To me, it just didn't seem to connect with the rest of the story, and was way too long. And it actually kind of, to me, just felt like a little bit of filler, just stretched the plot into a feature-length film. And that is something that actually happens, if I'm being honest, multiple times during this film. They can at times spend a little too much time, a little too much emphasis on one topic, interrupting the pacing and the flow of the plot. That being said, though, this was made on a really small micro budget. But what they do with the tracking shots, what appears to be the entire town they drive through, past power stations, through grass and houses, through the gym parking lot, into the crowded gym, and then back out again. And that was just the opening credits. And I'll admit, the opening, the cinematography, the narration, and the effects at the beginning of this movie were very cool. Something I haven't seen in a long time. But by the time you see them 3 or 4 times, it got a little used up. I wasn't the biggest fan of the transitions between the high quality film and the TV-like effect used quite often here. If I had really any negatives, they're very small, and they always seem to somehow link to some positives that I had at the same time. And then there's the ending, which gave me everything I wanted. I haven't seen a movie really do this in quite a while, and I loved every little bit of it. The effects, they looked like high-budget theater release effects. But then it was followed by what I feel was a bit of an underwhelming end that fell just a little short. I would have actually liked to have seen what happened to Faye and Everett. I mean, yes, I do know what happened to the characters. They do get resolved. But you can't show me those high-budget effects and then just tap out like that. I would have liked to have seen a little more of what actually happens to these characters I got invested in. But when it cuts away like that, well, it just kind of left me feeling just a tad bit cheated. Still, The Vast of Night right now, 2020, is my winner for the Shocker of the Year. Much like 2014's It Follows, an upgrade war for me. Low-budget movies with original concepts that I literally knew nothing about 10 minutes before watching them that actually gave me hope in cinema once again. I'll give The Vast of Night a B+. I have to say I'm definitely glad we did pick this one that night, and I'm still shocked that I walked away liking this movie as much as I did. I truly did not expect this going in. That being said though, guys, thanks so much for coming out, and once again, if you're new to the channel, like, comment, share, and subscribe right there to join the Cranks. See ya.